Was good, yeah. We are back, and this time it's again time to discuss should you summon or shouldn't you summon, and why discuss it at this moment? Because we now have pretty much all the information we could really hope for. So, not only do we have a normal 2 times rate up, obviously for blue shards and divine shards, but we also have a 1+1. So, you pulling one legendary hero and getting another one for free at a normal legendary rate, so 0.5% chance to even get a legendary. But most importantly, we also now have enough information about the event that's going to happen on Christmas, what everyone was pretty much saving their shards for, which is going to be a 2 times 10 times banner featuring Setram and two new heroes, Boreas and Orem. So based on that information, should you summon or should you save for Christmas for the 2 times 10 times? So let's start with the 2 times banner first. The 2 times is pretty much standard, pretty much straightforward, and in most cases the best banner for any account because you have the highest chance for legendaries, and legendaries are honestly at the end of the day the only really account changing factor that you could wish for to pull, especially because there are no featured units at all. Furthermore, shard summon wise, we now have the shard summon to summon Alistar, and we only have a total of 265 shards. And Alistar pretty much requires you to really take those shard collecting events more seriously. It's not going to be hard, you still don't need to place in the Oracle's Shrines, but you do want to take your chances at getting him, which is why you also would want to consider summoning for his shard summon events, just so you can get a couple more of his shards. Yeah, so between the 2 times banner and the 1+1 banner, at the end of the day, they're pretty much similar. The only difference is how high is your pity. The higher your pity and the more summons you have, the more confident you are in hitting pity, the better the 1+1 banner becomes. Because at the end of the day, you could invest 70 summons, be all out of summons, and the surprise invocation of spirit, so the 1+1 banner could end, and you would get absolutely nothing. So at the end of the day, it's a question of how high is your pity, and could you reach pity, or are you even okay with taking the loss on the banner and not pulling any legendary heroes? So yeah, honestly, for new players, there's nothing better than this straight up 2 times banner for more legendary heroes, and the 1+1 depending on your pity is also a pretty good choice, especially because we need to summon because of this shard summoning event, and also we'll obviously get a lot of rewards for Bounty Challenge, Odyssey of Dreams, Withered Sword. So we're going to get a lot of rewards, that's for sure. And now, honestly, let's talk about the next banner. So pretty much our Christmas banner. Honestly, it's just a bit disappointing. So if I have to make it fast, Setram obviously is a top tier hero. He's really good in Void Rift, really good in Gear 3, really good in a lot of stuff. But if you happen to have Setram already, what about the two new guys? What about Orem and Boreas? So, yeah, Boreas is basically a freeze mage. He's an AoE mage with freeze capabilities, and he's definitely not anything super top tier, but he's also not bad. He's a good legendary, he's nice to have, he has an interesting faction. If I'm not wrong, he should be of the Esotericist faction, but he's nothing you should be really gunning for, aiming for, especially because it's a 2 times and 10 times banner, so even though you have heightened legendary rates, you have a lower chance of pulling legendaries that aren't one of those three. And now on to the last one, Orem. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another dwarf disappointment, a DD, dwarf disappointment, joining Krark, and Azor is now Orem. Now we have a disappointing Watcher, disappointing Nightmare, and disappointing Inferno faction dude. He's basically an offensively built tank, but the biggest problem is with how this game is designed. You either want to tank or you want to kill stuff. You don't want to be bad at tanking while also not being really good at killing stuff. Orem is pretty much very, very undesirable, and he would most definitely be the biggest loss you could take by summoning on this banner. So Setram really, really strong, really good, especially for Guild Boss progression and all that good stuff. Gear 8 2, Gear 8 3, wherever you want to use him, he's really, really good, especially Void Rift. Boreas, he's a good AoE mage if you're lacking an AoE mage, and honestly, if you like his aesthetics and you see his kit later on, right? He's not bad, but also he's nothing on the level of a Viana or anything like that. And yeah, Orym is just disappointing. So just looking at the banners, honestly, it wouldn't even be wrong to summon at this 1+1 or even the 2 times banner. You're not really going to miss out if you summon here instead of on Christmas. Though what you might be missing out is shop deals. There might be potential really good shop deals around Christmas in the shop. So make of that information what you want to. Just keep it in mind that there's going to be a lot of good shop deals. And yeah, I hope that helped you out. At the end of the day, it is not too bad if you summon now or if you summon on Christmas. It just depends. Mainly, honestly, if you have Setram and if you're lacking in the AoE mage department. Honestly, this 2 times banner over here, you could win big, but you could also lose big. It is pretty mid.